Yes, greetings to all puss, dog, rat, cat, turtle, cheetah, lion, and the human forms of all of that. Now, this is the young man, your neighborhood herbalist, and we're back at it again, like O'Shea Duke Jackson would say. So my topic today is Whippy Goldberg thought she could have a black conversation with Caucasian. All right. So I'm going to give Whippy 3 mama slaps for that one. Y'all remember the mama slap? You know, you out in public, you acting up, mama just come behind you. So I'm going to give Whippy 3 of those. And you out of place, Whippy. I'm going to tell you if those people didn't tell you. Might not be for the same reason, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So why do I say she's out of place? First of all, if it was a black network, which is their network, they own it. If it was black bosses, they're not black, but they're your boss. If that was the case, then you would have been straight, because you would have been talking to your own people. But these people own the TV station, the television network. They're your bosses. They pay you, and they look nothing like you. And one of the only reasons why they did it wasn't because you gave yourself a Hollywood name that was Jewish. One of the reasons why they probably hired you is because, you know, they say something about this equal rights thing, and we have to at least have one black, one Jewish, one white, one Asian, one Indian, and so on. You know, that's more than likely the only reason why you're there. And you were supposed to know your place. But you're gonna go to these people network. These people hire you, so they're your bosses. And then you're just gonna open your mouth. Now, we know as black people that we're not going to distinguish Jewish, Anglo-Saxon, Slavs, what's the other one? And the other white people. We're not going to distinguish that. To us, they're all white. It's just like if one of those Caucasian people looking at us, they're not going to say there's a Haitian, there's a Jamaican, there's an African. They're just going to say they're all niggers. It's the same thing. That's the reason why I say she's out of place. Because she did not know her place. In the sense that if you have a whole bunch of different people that are black, one from Jamaica, one from Haiti, one from Africa, one from America, and there's a Caucasian over there looking at all of us, he's gonna say they're all niggers. It's the same thing with them. And one of the reasons why they say that it's a race thing is because you have the Aryans, you have the Anglo-Saxons, you have the Slavs, you have the Jews, and I forgot what the Muslims call that they're white people. Or you can just call them Muslims. But you know what I mean. So you're trying to have one of those conversations that you would have with somebody like me, where I understand where you're coming from. We know that when slavery time was going on, You had Indians that owned something like this. You had Caucasian that owned something like this. You had Jews that owned something like this. So to us, they're like all white people, with the exception of the Indian. And even some white people claim to be Indian so they could get the benefits and grew up like that. But we understand that. Those people ain't gonna understand that, because they know that the Jews were persecuted in every European country that they went to. You don't think them people still remember that shit? You think they're gonna look at their skin color and be like, okay, well, mine look just like yours, Anglo-Saxon, so we're the same people? No, 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 no. They're gonna remember Hitler. And they're gonna say, well, he might be Aryan, Anglo-Saxon, Slav, and we're Jews. No! Wrong place for that conversation, Whippy. I mean, what are you whipping up? I know your name is Whippy, and I know I know your stage name is Whippy Goldberg, and it sounds Jewish, but you're not Jewish, baby girl. You're not. You are of African descent. So whenever you're saying that it's not a race thing, we know that it's not a race thing because they're all white to us. But when it comes to each and every single individual, one of those different races, those different people, they look at themselves different. Oh, I'm Jew. Oh, I'm Anglo-Saxon. Oh, I'm Slavic. It's for a reason, because they see themselves differently. Now, if all of them have a problem with somebody like China, of course they're gonna all gather up and unite to go fight the one big beast. And after they defeat the big beast, now they're back to quarreling with themselves. But it's not for you or somebody like me to be like talking to them and saying that there's no difference between you. You're all the same. No, 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 no. You come and talk to somebody like me like that. Because those people see themselves as different. And the thing about them is they know their history. The Jews is very, very infamous for remembering their history. They remember what the Chinese did to them. They remember what the Europeans did to them. They remember what the Africans did to them. They remember that. Even if they're converts, they teach that. So now you're gonna go and say that, and I'm not saying you're right, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just showing you a difference as far as if you're speaking to somebody like me, then you might be able to get away with that stuff, you know? Because we understand where you're coming from. We understand what you're talking about. But you see, if you're in that environment, you might have to play it off and be like, man, that's a touchy subject, man, because y'all might be too sensitive for what I have to say. And then you might have to break it down. Don't wait till you go on Stephen Colbert afterwards. No, you might have to break it down right away and be like, just like if we have a whole bunch of different black people from different places, and you might look at us and say we're all black. Well, it's the same way black people look at people from different places that look the same. We all just look at it and say, you look white. You just have different names to it, but you look white to me. It would be good to start off like that. And we understand that. But if the people hire you, they own the radio stations, the banks, the media outlets, and the schooling system, everything else, and now you're coming on their shit, dissing them, because that's what they look at it as. You're dissing. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're just talking. And you don't even know your place. Stay in your damn place. That's what they're saying. Stay in your place because you shouldn't even be a part of that conversation in the first place. Now, if you're talking to black people, you might have a chance. If you introduced it like I said, you might have a chance. And don't think those people are not fighting amongst themselves. They know the difference. You're the one that don't know the difference, and you're the one that's out of place. And I explained that for a reason. Because when it comes to these other races, they are fully aware that the Germans are not like the French, even though they're both Germanic tribes. But they separate themselves for a reason. They know that the Italian is not like the English. They know that. They know that the Swiss, which is like Normans or Vikings, whatever you want to call it, is not going to be like, let's say who? The Polish. They have those names for a reason, you know that, right? So, long story short, we are the ones that is late to the party. If you did not see the example that they made of Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, Bill Cosby, I'm not even gonna name R. Kelly because he don't even belong in this list. He on his own thing. But those names that I just named, those were examples for you to know what line to cross and not to cross. Now, if you own your own network, or if you're on a black network that is not affiliated with those people, you might have a chance. But if you're on one of their network, oh man, you got to get the 3 mama slap because you don't get it. Yes, they're united when they have a common enemy. That's why it was nothing for them to have the Berlin Conference where they get together and say, all right, it don't make no sense for us to fight ourselves. So let's decide who's going to have what in Africa. And then you see them go do it. And eventually, they did fight themselves because that's what World War I was about. But they at least buy themselves some time, 20, 30 years. And then they did it again in World War II. But it ain't who you thought it was. It was still the same Jews. It was still the same Slav. It was still the same Anglo-Saxon. And so on. So they prove by history that they can fight themselves. But if they have a common enemy, they're going to unite for that purpose. And after they win and split up the spoils, then they back to their division again. So let this be, this is not a warning, but let this be an eye-opener moment that certain conversations, you don't see white people jumping in. The Nword conversation. You don't see nobody famous that is white is using the N-word and is succeeding. Because that's not their conversation. They might be able to talk to each other about that and everything is all right or might be all right. Because, you know, every now and then you might have one that says we're all human and they look at it from that perspective. And they understand that, we understand that the Chinese is 94% black. We understand that the cradle of civilization came from Africa. We understand that. But you don't see one of those races getting in to the N-word and all of a sudden succeeding. No, they just keep their corner. And the ones that do use the N-word is known as racist, and now they going down again. So it's the same thing, Whoopi. It's the very same thing. That wasn't your conversation. And I'm not speaking like I just got this type of mindset right away. When I just came here, I didn't realize or understood the way the culture was. So I was in Jersey, and I do remember I had an experience where cracking back in the day is like you cracking a joke, or you trying to be funny or something. And cracker, to me, I didn't know what the hell cracker was. It just was just a word. So a Caucasian dude was making fun of me, and I said, look at a cracker cracking. I didn't know I was being prejudiced. I thought everything was cool. I realized later that somebody else from one of those groups could have taken that the wrong way. I thought I was saying cracker, cracking, and both of the words mean the same thing, or close, they're related, cousins or family or whatever the words are. No, can't do that. Can't do that. It's problems. So let this be known to our people that technically you're property. Whether you're a prisoner of war, ward of the state, beast of burden, that's what everybody else sees you as. That's why nowhere, anywhere over the world, including black nations, we are the ones that is usually on the lowest totem pole. That's for a reason, because we don't get it. And because we don't get it, we're never going to be like this. We're never going to be united. We're always going to be like this, separated, fighting amongst each other. Meanwhile, those people get it. They know when to stay separate. They know when to stay out of your conversation. And they know when they have a common enemy, how to unite and fight that common enemy. Please, my people, wake up. Understand where you're at. And understand that united we stand, divided we fall. Those other races, they get it. Now, I can understand if you're kind of like me, that had a best friend that was Caucasian, and let's say you had a best friend that's Caucasian, and you grew up together, and certain words would be all right for you to use, and certain words would be all right for him to use, because you accept each other. You look at each other as brother, because you know you have each other's back, and you're dedicated, you're loyal, all of that. Not a bad setup, not a bad situation. You might have a chance amongst yourself, but somebody else might not understand that. So let that marinate for a minute. Let it marinate for a minute. Think about what I'm saying. Put your emotions aside. Think about what I just said. It matters to these people. Put yourself in their shoes. If there's a whole bunch of you. You know how some of us black people come here from a different country? They're like, oh, I don't want to be related to the African American. I don't want to be related to the Jamaican. Oh, I'm not Haitian. Leave me out of that. And we fight amongst each other and ourselves. It's the very same thing with them. Keep that in mind next time before you open your mouth and have a black conversation with Caucasian people. Because to us, all of them look the same. To them, all of us look the same. What's the difference? Difference is you got to realize the environment you're in, and you got to know your place. Yes, I said it. This is your neighborhood herbalist, and we will be talking about different topics and different subjects coming soon to our YouTube channel near you. Check out the young man's YouTube channel. Imagine _space POS 3.0. We over and out.